Hello boys and girls, and welcome to our story lesson. In our last class, we tried to identify important characters in our story. Now this week, we've been watching The Good Dinosaur, and so our story has revolved around Arlo and making your mark. So today, we're going to draw a story map. Remember what a map is? That's right. A map is a drawing that tells you where you need to go and how you need to get there. So that's a map. Now, why are we drawing a story map? It's to help us commit this story to memory. Sometimes you don't remember correctly the order of a story. A story map helps you to do that because it helps you think about what exactly happens next and to who and how that leads on to the next thing. So I hope you have your materials ready. I've got my whiteboard markers and my whiteboards. You can use paper, colored pencils, up to you. And then we're going to draw our map. When you draw a map, important drawings that you will need to use are arrows. You can use arrows, or you can just draw a road to show what's leading where. I'm going to use arrows. So let me wipe this off and let's get started. Now from our last lesson, we already identified that our characters, our chief characters or the main characters are Arlo and Spot. So let's put them next to each other. And when you do a story map, you need to determine what happens next. So this is our storyboard. Can you think of what happens next? Now there's a lot of events that happen next. I'm going to use a red marker for the road. So there's my arrow, pointing to what happens next. Now I'm going to pick just key events in this story. I'm going to go right next to the part where he meets Forrest Woodbush. This is Forrest Woodbush. He's a pet collector and a styracosaurus. Now in this part, this is where they give a name. So I'm going to indicate here. So there's my arrow, and then I can write here, name. Name Spot. This is where they name Spot. Name Spot. Name Spot. Now we're going to try to find out what happens next. Very quickly, they run into a T-Rex family. So there's my arrow. It's going to point to what happens next. And I'm going to put Butch over there. Where's Butch? There's Butch, the strong Tyrannosaurus Rex. Leading there. And there he is. Now Butch and his family have lost their herd of bison. And so Spot helps them to sniff it out. So in this part, I'm going to draw with Butch his bison. They're just like cows that have lots and lots of hair. So there's horn, draw bodies, 4 legs, and a tail. Give them lots of fur. Bison, another one, horn, body, hair, and a tail. So they lose their bison. So they meet them next. And then I'm going to draw next is the guy who really makes Arlo face his fear because he has to save Spot. And that's the pterodactyl. So I'm going to lead next to the pterodactyl. That's my arrow. And the pterodactyl is Thunderclap. Now Thunderclap claims he's been in the eye of the storm, and so he has no fear. It's very interesting because Arlo is someone who is very fearful. So here's Thunderclap. And Thunderclap, of course, wants to have Spot for dinner, but Arlo doesn't want Spot to get hurt. So Arlo overcomes his fear and he goes after Thunderclap and he saves Spot. So that's really important. There's Thunderclap. And then the arrow is going to lead to what happens next. So I draw my arrow. Eventually, they arrive home at Clawtooth Mountain. They arrive home by following the river. Arlo gets home. So, this is a very brief map. When you're drawing your story map, you can make it as detailed as you want, but I've just picked out the really basic key parts of the story so we can have a quick rundown of what a story map should look like. So if you don't want to use arrows, you could actually draw a road, as I said, but it's really important because on your storyboard, here you've got the story. And sometimes if you forget bits, you can look at your storyboard and you can say, oh yeah, this happened here and this happened here. Oh, I remember this happened next. And that's how you can commit the story to memory, because you've used pictures and drawings to show you what happens next in each story. So have fun story mapping. It's a really fun thing to do. You can think of any story, your favorite story, and you can come up with a story map. See you next time.